Hello everyone, Dragon Goes to Japan, and thought of the day. This one, I want to give a shout out to We Dreamin' in the comment section. You made a great, interesting point. I talked about meat in one video. So today I'm going to talk about vegetarian. Now, if you live in Japan and you're a vegetarian, there's nothing wrong with that, but you will encounter two very basic or small problems when you're vegetarian here in Japan. Now, Japanese eat traditionally lots and lots of vegetables, lots and lots of, I would say, meat in most of their dietary needs, or fish. So those are the kind of the common basics here. If you're a vegetarian, you have to watch out for, one, what you're eating. So most things here you can find anywhere will be like soup or ramen or something to that effect. Will traditionally have fish sauce, which is actually fish extract that they actually use in their food. And this is not anyone's fault. This is just a common traditional Japanese culture to put fish sauce in most soups or salads or anything like that. Actually, a lot of salads here, the dressing actually will sometimes have something that's protein based or something animal related. So make sure you ask when you come to Japan. I actually have a fellow colleague of mine who's a vegetarian, and he has told me, and he's been here about 5 or 6 years, it's not hard, but it can be a challenge to find things that are not with meat products or animal byproducts. So like, and that means eggs. Eggs are eaten everywhere here in Japan. I'm not emphasizing fake. Everything you can get eggs in, and I mean udon, gyudon, scrambled eggs, omelets. Eggs are probably one of the most common foods here, and it's a lot of it's based with that. And that means even bread. I've seen some bread here that just has fried eggs in it, or like an egg based in it. They sell actually an egg based bread here that, unless you know what it is, and if it says tamago, that's egg, you're eating actually egg bread. So just be cautious of what you're eating or what you're looking for. So when it comes to vegetarian, you can find things here and there. It will be a challenge. You should ask, does it have fish sauce? Because that is the key ingredient that Japanese tend to overlook when it comes to talking about their food, because that is not looked at as much as being an animal product. It's just fish. So just make sure you ask about that. I don't know the Japanese, but I would recommend at least knowing that word. The other thing is you're gonna find is finding a actual vegetarian style restaurant here. Now, I've lived in Japan for almost 3 years. I lived in Fukuoka. I live here now in Oita. I've been to Nagasaki, Kokura, Kitakyushu, Saga. I mean, everywhere. Vegetarian style restaurants, or I would say places that sell snacks, is going to be a little bit more difficult, because even sandwiches here will have an egg salad sandwich or something of that kind of base. So finding vegetarian food will be a little bit more of a challenge for you. So if you are more interested in vegetarian style food, or you are a vegetarian, I recommend trying to buy pieces and eat something that way. This is actually going to be a part of this video, because I actually have a small brief story that regards a vegetarian. It wasn't it wasn't a great encounter, but I learned something about this when I first came to Japan. So when I first came to Japan 2.5 years ago, I met a girl actually at Hakata Station in Tenjin. Hakata, Fukuoka, at the station, and I asked her where she was from. She said she was from Germany. I said, oh, that's wonderful. And she told me she was starving, and I asked her why. She said, I'm a vegetarian, and she hasn't eaten in 2 days because she couldn't find food. So I was a little shocked. I didn't think it was that big of a deal, because a lot of the Japanese diet has rice or something else in that. But she had literally told me she hadn't eaten in about 2 days because she's a vegetarian, and finding a place that had vegetarian style food was very difficult. I'm not a vegetarian, but for those who are vegetarians, finding can be a challenge based on your area. So you have to just be conscious of what you're buying, where you're buying, what you're looking for, to kind of keep your own mentality with that. The best advice I can give you is, if you're a vegetarian and you're coming to Japan, or you're a vegetarian and you want to live in Japan, go look for another channel that maybe talks about vegetarian in Japan, or being a vegetarian in Japan, because I haven't seen many of them. The Japanese I talk to don't know very many of them, so I don't have a real good background knowledge in that. But from what I've heard and what I've seen based on the food I've eaten and things like that, it will be a little bit more of a challenge for you if you live here or move here or to that effect. So I would recommend just check your food. Normally it says on the back of all packages, the different ones, there's 3 kanji that you should remember, and that's the chicken, beef, and pork. Those are the 3 main ones that you'll see, but there's also one for fish and then fish sauce. So there's about 5 kanji you should kind of just look at, and like if you should do anything, put it in your phone, just so you know, like, okay, so it has this kanji, I can't have that. So I would do that. Most everything has a label, so it should be not that hard to do, but I don't have any experience with vegetarian food. But I would like to thank We Dreamin', those guys who commented and asked about vegetarian. That's a good thing. I don't have a lot of experience, but from what I know, I'm going to share my information with you guys the best I can. So, all right, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notification bell if you haven't already done so you can see when we're ready to go live or do other things. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time. Later.